Hello, Lewis. Thank you for having Ben and I out to your beautiful home today. We make these videos so that we can walk you through exactly how we got to our pricing analysis for your home. So without further ado, let's jump into the data for 85388. We are currently sitting in a balanced market but teetering toward a buyer's market. What this means is that we're going to see more houses sold with sellers' concessions or below ask price. This is nothing to fear necessarily, but it's information that we want to know going into this so that we can price your house accordingly. We're sitting currently at 6.5 months worth of inventory, which means that if no new listings were posted, it would take 6.5 months to sell every house that's on market. The sold to list price ratio is 99.1%, which means that on average, sellers got 99% of what they were asking for their homes. This is great news for you, but as I discussed, many houses are selling with sellers' concessions. We'll dive into that data a little bit later. The median days on RPR is 59 days, up 68.5% month over month, but still very short amount of time, nothing to worry about. Going down to active listings, we're sitting at 225 properties currently on the market. This is up 6.6% month over month. And as you can see, looking back to our low in December of 2020 with only 38 homes, significantly higher. Once again, don't fear the market, but we want to factor in all of these things to our pricing analysis. Sold listings tell a better story of what's going on than active listings. We have 44 properties sold in the last month. This is up 22% month over month, which just goes to show that the demand is there for houses under $500,000. With economic uncertainty, people aren't wanting to dump a bunch of money into the market, which is making the sub 500K range the hottest market in the Phoenix metro area right now. Moving on to our seller's concessions data. 70.9% of homes sold with concessions in the last month. The average amount that a seller paid in concessions was $9,866. When you are looking at closed house prices on Zillow, it is not showing you this amount. It's not anything to fear, but it's something we want to keep in mind for when we start receiving offers. We're likely going to get an offer that has seller's concessions built into it. Let's move on to the comps that we used. You are going to receive a copy of this spreadsheet that you can reference at any point. It's also going to be included in our weekly listing update that we send to you. I wanted to go over a couple of things. The properties that are highlighted in red are properties that have had a price reduction. The property that is highlighted in green sold for over its ask price. It's separated into active, pending, and closed comps. The closed comps are always going to tell a better story. All of these properties are also within your subdivision. So I know that you're familiar with both of the properties on Caribbean Lane as we had spoken about them, but I wanted to touch base on a couple of things, a couple of areas that your property has some advantages. This one is very clean. It shows really well, but does have an outdated dishwasher. It also has carpet in the bedrooms. And the big kicker, no swimming pool in the back. The other one is a different story. It's very cluttered, very outdated through and through. The pictures are really bad, and it also doesn't have a swimming pool. I wouldn't take it too much to heart that this house has been sitting for as long as it has and that they've been struggling to sell it because the presentation overall is just not there. Once again, no pool in the back, making your house a much better option. Let's head back and take a look at the closed comps. Both of these sold very quickly and were priced pretty aggressively, and it ended up paying off. As you can see here, the one on 172nd Lane was listed for $424,000. It sold for $424,000 in 22 days, but they did give a concession amount of $8,480. Want to take a quick look at this one. A nice pool in the back, two-story house, which isn't as desirable as yours, but completely renovated, looking really nice and really clean. I think they did a good job pricing this house, brought a lot of demand in, and they were able to get it under contract quickly. The other one on Port Royale sold for considerably over their ask price of $425,000. It's a couple hundred square feet smaller than yours, but has a bigger lot by a few thousand square feet. This one sold in 4 days and had a $3,000 concession amount. So the seller still got $10,000 over ask. Let's take a quick look at the photographs where you can see the backyard is really nice. It also shows really well. The pictures are good, nice and bright. The one area where I think this has a leg up on yours is that it has an open concept in the kitchen that a lot of people are looking for. But at the end of the day, I think they just priced really well, brought a lot of demand to the home, and sold it quickly because of that. So without further ado, let's get over to the fun part, the seller's net sheet, where you find out how much money you're going to make. We use all this information to come up with three prices: an under market price, a market value price, and a high water price. Under market price we came to is $399,000. That'll have the same effect as Port Royale, getting a bunch of people through the door quickly and hopefully drive the price up to somewhere you're willing to accept. The market value price, $425,000, and the high water price, $445,000. Now I'm willing to price it at the high water price, but if we're not having any showing activity after a week, we're going to really need to consider doing a price reduction and getting more people through the door. Now, considering you refinanced in 2016, assuming you own about $142,000 left on that mortgage, seller's concessions, we know we're going to expect them, so I have them budgeted in. Everything in the blue is negotiable, whereas everything in the gray is non-negotiable. For title insurance, we have your fees laid out right there, an estimation. Outside services, home warranty is negotiable. Credit in lieu of repairs is usually less than 1% of the asking price. I budgeted for $2,000. Real estate services, our commission is 3%, and that is non-negotiable. As I'd mentioned, if you're going to buy another house through us, we will credit you a third of your commission on the house that you buy, and that'll show up on your final settlement statement, either off the ask price or toward your closing costs, however you want to structure that. Selling agent's commission, we have it 2.5%. This is an example only as it is negotiable, but on average, we're seeing 2.5% paid to selling agents. So we have it budgeted for that. Taxes and HOA, it seems from the county assessor site that you are all caught up on your taxes. The only fee that I was seeing is the disclosures fee for the HOA, which has to be paid for by the seller, of $400. So if we list under market at $399, you're going to walk away with $174,120. If we list at market value, $198,690. At the high water mark and get full ask price, you're walking away with $217,590. You will also get this net sheet attached every week with your email update about the listing. I want you to take the night to think this over, and then tomorrow let's hop on a call and decide what price you want to list at. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to working with you.